As you prepare for your postdoctoral experience, let's compare two people that started their postdocs very differently. Amanda has just started her postdoc. Before her first day, she received a formal letter with her compensation and benefits. In addition, Amanda sat down at home and using some resources she downloaded from the APA, she created a plan that would outline goals for her postdoc experience. This plan identified not only short-term goals for the work she would be doing, but longer-term career goals. She considered the possible careers she might want after her postdoc and focused on the skills, knowledge, and abilities she would need for those careers. Amanda makes an appointment to meet with her advisor to discuss her plan and then puts in her calendar a reminder to review her plan every few months. Hunter, Amanda's classmate, also recently started his postdoc at another institution. He too received a letter with his compensation and benefits information. On Hunter's first day, he was shown his working space and met his new colleagues. Once Hunter had put his belongings at his desk, he and his advisor sat down and talked about what he would be doing in his schedule. The next day, he comes in, turns on his computer, checks his email, and starts doing his work. As the end of Amanda and Hunter's postdocs drew near, they compared notes. Amanda was very satisfied with her postdoc. It had been very well defined, and she felt she developed the skills she needed for the career she wanted, and she was starting to apply for jobs all in the same field, feeling very confident she would probably get at least one interview. She was happy she had taken the time to create a plan. Hunter enjoyed his postdoc, but he was frustrated. He didn't know if he had the right experience for the jobs he wanted. He was not sure what he was doing next, most likely another postdoc. Hunter's experience is not that unusual. Most graduate students today will do a postdoctoral fellowship. However, quite often there is little or no explicit discussion of what exactly you are to learn and what skills you are to improve during your postdoc. Simply put, most postdocs, especially those doing scientific research, have very little structure or formal training, which might sound very exciting after years of graduate school, but comes with a price. A study conducted by the Sigma Xi Scientific Research Society found that postdoctoral positions that had oversight and formal training resulted in higher advisor ratings, fewer work conflicts, an increase in publication frequency, and overall greater levels of satisfaction. In fact, those postdocs that reported having structure and formal training had the same levels of satisfaction as an individual who was earning $20,000 a year more. Amanda's experience did not happen by chance. She took the time to write a plan that created structure, identified goals, prompted her to research different career options, and provided clear requirements. A plan like this is called an Individual Development Plan, or IDP. Some of you may already know what an IDP is, especially if you work in the field of human resources or IO psychology. IDPs have a long history in business and government, where they are used to help employees identify their professional goals and how to achieve them. Over the past decades, IDPs have found their way into scientific and research education and training, specifically helping postdoctoral scholars identify career goals and, more importantly, make a plan to achieve them. IDPs are a tool that rely upon self-assessment, identifying your career goals, your values, and your skills and abilities. When done correctly, they provide a framework for developing career milestones that move you towards a desired career outcome. They also provide an outline for periodically revisiting your plan and revising it as your interest and career options change during your training. The IDP process is iterative. You will move through stages repeatedly, taking the time to assess your progress and your changing career objectives. You will start by assessing your values, skills, and interests, which will lead you to explore a set of careers that match them. Through learning about options, you will compare what it takes to be successful in that career with your current skill set. This leads to the setting of goals to improve your skills and abilities needed to achieve your dream job. Finally, you will implement your plan to achieve these goals, using milestones to measure your progress. After working on your IDP for a period of time, you will want to once again assess your skills, interests, and values. It is important to revisit the IDP process on a regular basis as career goals evolve. Revisiting the IDP process, you revise your plan and help to ensure that you continue training and making progress towards a rewarding career. You start with a self-assessment of your skills, interests, and values because they help identify career goals. You might find you are interested in many different careers, and for some, you may already have the necessary experience to be successful. For others, you may find you need to acquire new skills or improve your abilities. You may also find the job you had originally wanted might not match your interest or values, or the training you are receiving now will not necessarily prepare you for that job. There are no right or wrong answers to the self-assessment. You might be tempted to try and match yourself to your dream job, but instead think honestly about the outcomes you value, what tasks you find rewarding, and what motivates you in your work and professional life. Other videos and resources in this series will help you with these steps. After you've assessed your skills, interests, and values, you will need to start researching careers and jobs. Don't just rely on your assumptions, but instead think critically about what it takes to get the job you want and what an employer looks for in a new hire. There are many ways to do this. For example, think about a faculty member at a large university. What would it take to get that job? To answer this question, let's take a look at a job ad for a faculty position. Here is a typical ad for a behavioral neuroscience position in a department of psychology. Reading through the ad, we see what this department wants in its newest faculty member. First, you'll have to be successful at conducting research in the area of neurobiology of behavior. Specifically, they're looking for researchers in translational areas such as addiction or learning and memory. Also notice, you'll have to have management skills to oversee a research lab, which means supervising staff such as graduate students, lab technicians, and postdocs. The university is trusting you with money, both in the form of startup funds to get your research program started, and the money you'll bring in later from your grants, so you will need budgeting and financial skills. Finally, you need to have teaching skills, and you need to be an active member in helping to guide the department in its teaching missions. After critically analyzing this advertisement and assessing your skills, interests, and values, does this position, or any other like it, still appeal to you as a possible career? The only person that can answer this question is you, and it requires an honest assessment of your own performance and getting honest feedback of your performance and work. Having researched career options, you can start to develop a plan, one that will work to improve your skills and abilities needed for your career goals and provide you necessary experiences to develop the competencies to apply for the jobs you want. Your written IDP will contain explicit short-term and long-term goals with milestones along the way that will help you assess your progress. Finally, you need to implement your IDP and evaluate your progress, which only emphasizes the importance of goals and milestones to assess your progress. And as we discussed before, you should ask for feedback and periodically review and revise your IDP. As you continue gaining new skills and abilities, you may find new career options becoming of interest to you. In addition, our lives are constantly changing, and those changes can impact our career goals and what options work best for us. Amanda did not chance upon her successful postdoc. She planned for it. She was thoughtful about her career prospects, taking the time to assess her own skills, knowledge, and abilities, and how they would help propel her into the career she wanted. She wasn't luckier than her colleague Hunter, she was just more prepared.